All right.
Let's do it.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Just a few housekeeping items real quick. We're going to start with remarks from all three gentlemen, President Angel Cabrera, Director of Athletics Jay Batt, and our new head coach Damon Stoudamire. Then we'll have a Q&A afterwards. For the Q&A, please do raise your hand so we can get you a microphone for the live broadcast that's going on. So without any further ado, we'll turn it over to Georgia Tech President Dr. Angel Cabrera.
Well, good morning, everyone. And I'm really, really excited to be able to introduce to all of you our new men's basketball head coach. Last night, Jay and I had a chance to go down to Houston to see Coach Stoudamire coach his last game with the Celtics, and I'll tell you the experience was very special to see how everybody reacted to the news, to us. I was wearing my Georgia Tech hat, and everybody from the entire team, the coaches, and the way they reacted to the news, how happy everybody is for Damon, also how sad everybody was to see him go, and yet how happy they were because everybody understood what an important move this is for him. So it was great fun. Only problem, of course, is we ended up getting home very late last night. So this process is going to kill me. So hopefully after this we can relax a little bit. Let me just say a couple of words of appreciation for our prior coach, Josh Pastner. He served us with distinction for 7 years, represented this institution extremely well, served our students with great dedication, and for that I'm most grateful to him for what he's done. I also want to highlight the process that Jay followed. I've been very impressed of how thorough and speedy, but very thorough search this was, and how he was able to, in a short time, to find us absolutely the right person. I think Jay's own networks throughout the industry, his connections, his trusted sources were essential in completing this search. He has been keeping me in the loop at every single step along the way, and I can tell you I could not be any more pleased with the search. And lastly, since I've met Damon, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about the new chapter in men's basketball. I'm excited about Damon, about his personality, but also about his deep history with the sport of basketball, both in college, as you all know, and at the professional level. He has played, he has coached. I think he is a walking basketball Wikipedia. His life is basketball, but very, very importantly to me is how much he cares about student athletes. Having been one, having seen firsthand how a young person's life gets gets transformed through intercollegiate athletics, and how really the top obligation that we all have, especially coaches, is to be teachers, is to make those student athletes successful in whatever they do after they graduate. So I'm very excited, and I couldn't be any more pleased with Jay's choice for our new head coach, athletic director, Jay Batt.
Thank you, President Cabrera. I too would echo, this is an incredibly exciting moment in Georgia Tech men's basketball history, and a history that's got tremendous pedigree and past, and we're excited about this new chapter. I'm personally ecstatic to be here with the two men to my right. I'd start off with just a thank you to Dr. Cabrera. His incredible commitment support throughout this process, and his continued leadership has been incredible. I'd also like to just offer a couple quick words about Coach Passner. Josh is a high-quality individual that dedicated incredible amounts of effort into our program. But this was about a standard of excellence for Georgia Tech. We expect to challenge for ACC championships, compete in NCAA tournaments, all while leaning into the incredible athletic history and academic pedigree of this great institution. As you all know, arrived in October, and just like all of our programs, began evaluating our men's basketball program. Used every opportunity to observe and learn, went to practices, traveled, watched, went to games, as you all know. And like every athletic director, built a list for the drawer. Built a good list of high-quality coaches and put it in the drawer as something that would, maybe wouldn't need to do, but at the end of the day, just like all athletic directors, built that list. Last Thursday evening, met with Coach Passner to talk about potential opportunities for improvement in the program. Friday morning, made the decision with President Cabrera's support that we needed to make a change for the long-term health of the program in leadership. Informed Coach Passner of that change on Friday, and our search for a new head coach began immediately. With that search, we wanted to find a coach that had head coaching experience, significant experience in college basketball, someone who's well-respected and connected within all levels of basketball, someone who can recruit elite talent to Georgia Tech, a great role model and relationship builder, someone to be a great fit in Atlanta, someone that understands and embraces not only basketball tradition but our academic pedigree. And finally, we wanted to find a winner, a competitor who shares our vision for what Georgia Tech basketball can be. Not going to share any details of the search, but I can tell you it started immediately, went swiftly, visited with several nationally renowned coaches that were extremely interested in this job. Search concluded Monday with the Georgia Tech Athletic Association board meeting, where the board accepted our recommendation for this job. The candidate we recommended for approval, sitting to my right, Damon Stoudamire. In Damon, we found just what we were looking for: a proven winner as an athlete in college at Arizona, as well as his long, distinguished playing career in the NBA. Someone with significant college experience, many years as an assistant at several high-level basketball programs, 5 years as a head coach, and building a program at Pacific. Had the added bonus of NBA coaching experience with one of the finest NBA organizations in the Boston Celtics. Quickly, just a brief thank you to Brad Stevens and the entire Celtics organization, who were incredibly gracious and helpful throughout the process. We wanted to find someone who could manage all aspects of today's college athletics environment, someone who's committed to the entire student-athlete experience, committed to helping young men achieve their full potential academically, athletically, and socially while here at Georgia Tech, but also preparing them for life after college. When we talked to Damon, it was clear that he met all these criteria. When we talked to others about Damon, and we talked to lots of folks about Damon, it was clear that he was a great leader who inspires and builds genuine relationships. He's dialed into the cutting-edge use of analytics and sports technology. He's deeply connected within basketball and will be able to change our recruiting trajectory immediately. He has an incredible basketball mind. He's a competitor and a winner. And so without further delay, it's my great pleasure to introduce you to your head men's basketball coach, Damon Stoudamire. Coach, microphone's yours.
Wow. Is this on? I gotta.
You're good.
You're good.
Whew. It's been a long time coming. I have a lot of people to thank. First, I want to acknowledge my sons are in the back. I have Brandon Stoudamire. Raise your hand, Brandon B. Just say. Then I have Damon Stoudamire. You know, this has just been a long journey for me. You know, I'm excited beyond belief to be here today. I see a lot of faces in the crowd. Some I know, some I don't. And I look forward to being able to hopefully dialogue with everyone. You know, I talked to James Forrest a lot. My youngest son, you know, he played for James' AAU team, someone I've competed with for years and years and years. I see him to the left. You know, I kind of grazed to the right, and I think I seen Malcolm Mackey walk in the door. You know, and in the back I was talking to 3D. You know, I say all that to say this: when I always thought of Georgia Tech basketball, growing up as a kid, you know, I remember Coach Cremens. I remember Mark Price. I remember Bruce Dalrymple. I remember Dwayne Farrell. I remember Tommy Hammonds. I seen the evolution of it. I seen it go to Dennis Scott, Kenny Anderson, Brian Oliver, Malcolm Mackey. You know, and so this is for me, it's really a tradition-rich program. One that I aspire to get back to winning championships, galvanize the community, the student body, and just get this thing going in the right direction. These two gentlemen right here, can't say enough about them. It was a heck of an experience, and things come together quick sometimes. And you know, with the shared vision that we have, I don't think there's nothing that we can do. And for me, again, you know, last night, coaching that last game with my guys, you know, all I could think about moving forward, to be honest with you, was how important today was going to be to me, my family, and the Georgia Tech community. Because from this day forward, it's all about us, and it's all about winning. And I only want people around that are going to help me do that. Some things aren't acceptable. It gets cliche-ish to say we're not going to lose. To get the culture, to get the foundation, you have to be disciplined. You have to have a non-negotiable contract with yourself, and that's what you have to do. You got to expect nothing but perfection, and then if that doesn't happen, it for damn sure better be close. And those are the things that I try to teach my kids. Those are the things that I've always taught every kid I've coached. And the ironic thing about being in Atlanta is I spent so much time throughout the years in Atlanta. I mean, as you guys know, you know, playing in the NBA, we all aspired to come down here. So I met a whole lot of people, and nostalgic for me is I remember when I had got my first coaching job, college coaching job. The first recruit I ever got in my life was a McDonald's All-American right here from Southwest DeKalb High School. First player I ever got in my life. First player. And to have this come full circle, to be able to be in a great city, have a great fan base, I couldn't ask for more. And I so look forward to getting this program where everybody wants to see it, at.
Coach, we'll go ahead and take questions. Once again, please raise a hand. Also, please state your name and the outlet that you represent. So Coach Stoudamire can start putting names with faces. We'll start with Ken Segura.
Ken Segura with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I'm curious, for you, as you were considering this job, what did you need to hear about that would lead you to think, okay, this is a place where I want to be?
You know, it's a commitment and it's a shared vision in order to get a program going in the right direction. And so in our meetings, I felt like I got that. You know, one of the things when I had my prior college job at Pacific, like, you're starting from the ground up, you're building it from the ground up. You know, you don't really have a budget, so you know you're trying to do the best you can. And you know, when you have an opportunity like this is something for me totally different. So the shared vision, the collective vision of what we see moving forward, I heard all of that in our conversations, and that made me more than comfortable.
Go right here with Rod.
Welcome to Georgia Tech. Rod McKenzie with 247 Sports. You've been in the business a long time, and I imagine you've made a lot of coaching connections. Do you have a list that you've thought about that maybe I need to contact these guys, and do you have a timetable to hire those assistant coaches?
No timetable. Phone has been ringing a lot over the last 24 hours and trying to digest a lot of things. There are a lot of good candidates and there are a lot of good names, and it's just a matter of finding what fits me and where I see in terms of what I need within the program.
Over here with Jeff.
Hi, Damon. Jeff Schultz of The Athletic. Two questions. First of all, who was the player from Southwest DeKalb? Sorry, I should know. And then the second question is, what gives you the confidence that you're going to be able to recruit here, not just in Atlanta, but the state of Georgia, which obviously has been a problem around here recently?
Got you. The first question, Shaq Goodwin. Shaq Goodwin, Southwest DeKalb High School, who ironically enough, we share the same birthday. So that's probably why we had so much in common. And secondly, just number one, this is a relationship business, and I have great relationships, and I'm dialed in and in tune to what it takes to be successful at this. And so, obviously, you have this Atlanta metropolitan area, but you also have the rest of the country. And, me and the staff that I put together will beat the pavement to do the best we can to find the best student athletes for here. But this is a major hub here in Atlanta, and I don't think that it's been tapped into the way it can be tapped into.
Kelly?
Kelly Quinlan, work for Rivals.com. Just curious for both Jay and Damon. Obviously, NIL has been a game changer. Jay, I was curious kind of where you feel like the boosters are at in terms of getting basketball ACC level support with that. And then, Damon, how do you approach it's such a different era, even just from a couple of years ago when you were at Pacific, like and when you were at Arizona and Memphis as an assistant with the NIL and dealing with that whole new world. Just kind of, if you could both touch on that, thanks.
I'll just jump in and say that we're very fortunate to have the Tech Way set up and established by our group of great supporters, and that they've made incredible progress in a short period of time. So many of our great fans and donors and boosters have participated with that group, and we've made really good progress, Kelly. So that's what I'd say about that.
Yeah, things have definitely changed. When I was on my way out, the NIL was starting to come into play, but you could see this happening years ago. You could see it happening. It was just a matter of time. So it's nothing new. It's I think it's kind of like taboo, I think, in collegiate sports, but from the world I come from, it's almost like it could be playing with the salary cap. Just being honest with you.
Right up here in front.
Hey, Damon. Raphael Haynes with the three-point conversion. Two questions. First part, how do you feel? Well, you were part of Boston when they made it the switch with the coaches, and Boston still looks successful. How do you feel that's going to be instrumental with you coming here as far as being different, being new to the team? And then second question is, Georgia Tech has a rich history of point guards. You were a point guard, great point guard. Are you looking to restore that?
Well, the situation in Boston, it was unfortunate, and we all had to pull together. I think it was difficult for everybody. It was a lot of healing going on within our organization, but we had a common goal, and that was to win. And no different than here at Tech. You have transitions, and I think that the biggest thing that you help student athletes with in that transition is you have to move forward. You have a choice, and you have to make the choice that's best for you. The choice we made in Boston, and I led the charge a bit, is that the person that wasn't there anymore, he would still want us to do the right thing. And the right thing is that we got to we got to stay committed. We got to stay committed to each other while we get through the healing process, and we'll be fine. That's what happened there, and I think that's what happened here. In talking with the team yesterday, I felt good about that, and I look forward to talking to each player individually. And in terms of the whole restoring the point guard thing, this is what I figured out. In recruiting. I'm going to find the right player. I'm not going to try to recreate Kenny Anderson, Mark Price, the legends that played here, But I do feel guards win championships. I do know that. I know that really well. Good guards win you a lot of games.
Jackson Caudill, allyellowjackets.com. You're leaving a team that many would consider to be the favorite to win the NBA championship just a month before the playoffs. What stood out about Georgia Tech to make you want to leave at this point in time?
That's a good question. And what I would say is, and I say that because, I had a couple people text me the same thing, but I think more than me leaving, I think it shows what these two gentlemen brought to the table when we talked. And I think, again, with that shared vision of where the program can go, I just thought it was a no-brainer. I think now's the time. we can get things going back in the right direction. You see the conference changing a little bit, and so it was exciting. The commitments that they made, and I just felt like it was perfect. When Boston wins the championship, I'll still get my ring. We already talked about that. I'll get my ring. I'll get my ring. But right now, everybody understands why I left, and even with that said, and talking with Joe, talking with Brad, I would have liked to stay, but that would have been not giving Georgia Tech the credit and attention that it deserved. If I'm going to do this, I need to do this 100%. And so, I'm committed. I'm in this for the long haul, and I feel like Georgia Tech has a chance, like I said, to get back, win championships. That's all I really want to do, and inspire children.
We'll go back here with Randy and then Terrence, and we'll come back over on this side.
Randy Waters, Georgia Tech Radio Network. Tell us a little bit about the relationship. A certain guard who wears number 1 for Georgia Tech is been a part of your life, and you've been a part of his life. Kyle Stoudamire.
For sure. I've known me and Kyle, well, before Kyle was born, me and his father, really good friends. And, it's crazy. There's so many backstories, to be honest with you, of a lot of people that I know in Atlanta, not knowing that this day would come where I'll be sitting in front of you guys, talking about being the head coach here at Tech. But, knew Kyle's dad, for the longest, and obviously held him as a baby and known him for years, and, I've always been proud of him. The thing about it is I'll say this, and, I know this year he had some bumps in the road, and, he would call me, and, he don't know this, but sometimes when he called, I didn't answer on purpose. I did, because sometimes you got to be a man and figure it out. Because after a while, you got to look in the mirror and you got to know who's really the culprit. I've always said this, and I believe this. I tell my kids this. I tell Kyle this. I tell all my closest people that ask me real questions. I don't know a coach in the world that's not going to play a guy to help him win a game. Okay, now, there's things we got to do. We got to exude confidence. We got to do different things. I do understand that, but there's not a coach in the world. I don't care what level you play on. That's not going to put a person that can win the game. You put the manager in if the manager can help you win the game. And so that's what I kind of tried to get Kyle to understand. And so I would pick the phone up when he played better, and I'd be like, "What's the difference?" That's all I would ask. I never ask questions, because I know, number one, I know how hard coaching is. But I also know how, as young student athletes, you can get in your own head about certain things. So, Kyle's a great young man, great student. He's a great ambassador of this university, and I look forward to coaching him.
Terrence Moore, Forbes.com. You were talking about recruiting before. What type of recruiting connections do you have in Atlanta right now, and Georgia in general, or is that something that's going to take time?
Well, in general, I know a lot of people. Even when I left the college game to go back to the professional ranks, I still talk to a lot of people, and it won't take a lot of time to get reacquainted. I just feel like, when Tech is good, Tech has Atlanta guys on it, but Tech also has it has guys from all around the country. The beauty of this institute is that the academics is second to none, and a lot of people want to be a part of this. And so you start at home, and then you venture out. But it won't take long. It won't take long. Again, this is a relationship business. You got to beat relationships down. at times you got to make people talk to you that don't want to talk to you. You know, it's a part of it. So I look forward to that. I look forward to recreating what this was. So, you know, I don't think it'll take time.
This is for Jay. There have been just a few press conferences around here lately. Could you just sort of talk about what that's been like for you these past few months? And you've hired 2 coaches, I think now in a span of 3.5 months, maybe, ballpark?
Who's counting?
Yeah. Has it occurred to you that, I mean, the reality of your profession, your tenure might be defined by these 2 hires in a span of 3.5 months?
Well, I'd know is the answer. I think, you know, at the end of the day, the people we surround ourselves with are some of the most important parts of our work, right? And I can tell you that I have extreme confidence in both of the hires we've made in my short time here, and feel really great about our future.
Maybe can you just talk about what it's been like for you these last few months trying to...
It's certainly been busy. And I found the coffee, so that's good. No, it's, you know, my experience here has been incredible. I think the leadership Dr. Cabrera has shown in our alignment around the program has really has been inspiring and exciting. And despite being super busy, as you mentioned, I'm even more excited about our future.
Time for a couple more. We'll start right up here in front.
Hey, Coach, welcome to Atlanta. Garrett Chapman, 92.9 The Game, 247 Sports. How much of an emphasis is there going to be on getting this together quickly? Are you going to use the transfer portal, or are you just going to go straight through recruiting? What's your plan for that?
I mean, it's going to take, when I say time, I don't mean like time to win, because I'm trying to win now. But you got to cipher through these players. You know, there's a lot of guys in the transfer portal, and at times you got to understand there's a lot of guys in the transfer portal for a reason. You know, so you got to do your homework. It's no different. Again, I think I'm a bit different. The change for me is not unknown. It's the known. With a professional background, you know, your roster can overhaul every year. But I'm not worried about the roster overhauling every year. I'm worried about the people that I bring on the roster every year, because you bring the wrong guys, and now things can go the wrong way. So I'm as invested in changing the roster only if it's the right student athlete that fits what we're trying to do. You know, and that's how I've always been. That's how I've always approached the transfer portals. But it's been good to me in the past, and I expect it to be good to me now.
Hey, Coach. 2-part. Welcome to Atlanta again. Dan Matthews from 6A The Fan. You coached with Coach Pastner in the past. Do you have a previous relationship? Has he reached out to you? And the second part is, I'm sure you're probably already aware of this, pretty strong roster, I guess, transfers, you know, whatever happens with that. I mean, how excited are you about that as well, that you have a pretty strong foundation to build off of?
First, you know, yeah, I did. Me and Josh had a conversation. I respect him. I respect him more than anyone knows. I've known him, you know, for a very, very, very long time. And, you know, I respect everything he stands for and everything he's about. And, you know, he like, as in terms of our conversation, you know, we just had good dialogue, you know. And with the roster, I like the roster. You know, I think that the guys have an opportunity here, and each one of them have to take advantage of it. You know, that's the biggest thing. You know, there's things we obviously got to improve on, and that's collectively, not not just one individual, but you know, they have to take advantage of this opportunity. And as I talked to them today, you know, I look forward to hearing their thoughts on everything.
We'll wrap up with Kelly and then Ken.
I'll ask a more basketball-centric question. Just what's the style of play? I know obviously you were known for being a strong defensive coach. That's been a tradition here for a long time. But offensively, kind of what are you looking for? Is it going to be NBA pace and space? Is it kind of what do you have in mind for that?
An exciting brand of ball, you know, analytically driven, but at the same time, you know, a lot of space and a lot of, you know, let me put it to you this way. The first 6 seconds are theirs. The middle 10 seconds is mine. And the last 6 seconds, we need to figure out who's the best option with the ball in their hands, so to speak. You know, I really admire what we did in Boston. Obviously, I don't got Jason Tatum, I don't got Jaylen Brown. I get it. But the way we play, man, the unselfishness, the ball movement, and conceptually, the things that we did each and every day in practice to make us a good team, because those are the teaching moments that make us who we are at 7:30, you know. And I think that's how I want to define Georgia Tech basketball. And you know, spacing will be important, shooting will be important, and ball movement will be very important. So I look forward to doing those type of things.
Ken, if you want to wrap us up.
Jay, I'm curious, as you looked at Josh's program and did resources strike you as we need to do more here? And to that, if so, what kind of plans do you have in terms of staffing or facilities, that sort of thing with men's basketball?
Ken, I would just say that you know, the change was about a standard of excellence moving forward, and you know, I think we needed to make that change, and we did. As Damon said, I think we've got a shared vision for what we're going to do going forward and what's needed to be done to support him and help build the program.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And we'll see everybody soon.
Happy Pi Day.
Happy Pi Day.
Happy Pi Day.
Good work, man.
Hey.